The power of morning thoughts. When we wake up in the morning, the first moments are the most powerful moments of our day, though most of us fail to recognize their importance. The moment your eyes open, before the noise of the world rushes in, before the endless notifications and demands start to pile up, your mind is in its purest, most malleable state. It is like clay, ready to be shaped by your thoughts, your choices, and your attitude. Yet too often, we allow our mornings to be hijacked by distraction, worry, or fatigue, and we never realize that this small window of time can determine the course of everything that follows. The thoughts you cultivate in those first minutes are like seeds planted in the soil of your day. If you plant fear, frustration, or indecision, that is exactly what will grow. But if you plant clarity, purpose, and optimism, you will be amazed at how resilient, productive, and energized your day becomes. Imagine waking up and immediately thinking about all the tasks you have to do, the emails waiting, the meetings, the expectations. That kind of mindset is heavy, like walking into a storm before you even step outside. It weighs you down and shapes every action you take for the next 12 hours. On the other hand, when you take control of your first thoughts, when you consciously choose to start your day with awareness and positivity, you begin to steer your life instead of letting it steer you. The mornings are not just hours of the day. They are the foundation upon which success, resilience, and happiness are built. The mind in these moments is at its sharpest, its most receptive. You can harness it to visualize solutions to challenges, to imagine opportunities you might otherwise miss, to rehearse courage before you face fear. These early thoughts do not only influence your work, they shape your relationships, your confidence, and even your health. Many people underestimate the ripple effect of their morning mindset. A tense, anxious start can spill over into interactions with colleagues, family, and friends, often triggering a chain reaction of negativity. Conversely, a mindful, intentional beginning can radiate outward, creating calm focus and empathy in ways you might not even notice consciously. The power of the morning is also tied to the absence of distraction. Before the world intrudes, before the endless barrage of messages, news, and opinions reaches you, your mind has the chance to be itself, undiluted and undisturbed. It is in these quiet moments that you can ask yourself the most important questions. Who do I want to be today? How do I want to feel? What kind of impact do I want to make? These are not trivial questions. They are the steering wheel of your life. And yet, most of us let our mornings slip by without a thought, without direction, allowing our emotions to be dictated by external circumstances rather than internal choice. Consider for a moment the difference between two mornings in one. A person wakes up, checks their phone, and immediately gets caught in a whirlwind of information, comparison, and obligation. By mid-morning, they feel drained, distracted, and reactive. In the other, a person wakes up, takes a deep breath, thinks about what they are grateful for, visualizes their goals, and sets a clear intention for the day. Their actions, interactions, and decisions naturally align with clarity and purpose. The difference is profound, and it all begins in those first minutes after waking. This is why the morning is a battlefield that too many of us neglect, yet it is also the opportunity that too few fully seize. By recognizing the extraordinary influence of your early thoughts, you can transform not just your mornings, but your life. You begin to understand that success, happiness, and peace are not accidents. They are cultivated intentionally, starting with the very first choice you make upon waking. Each morning is a blank page, and your first thoughts are the ink that writes the story of your day. When you master this moment, you do not just wake up, you rise, fully awake in body, mind, and spirit, ready to shape your world rather than be shaped by it. Owning your mind in the morning is one of the most powerful things you can do, yet it is also one of the most overlooked. Most people wake up and immediately surrender their mental space to the world. Emails, notifications, news, and endless social media feeds. From the very first moment, their focus is dictated by someone else's priorities, someone else's problems, and someone else's agenda. This is not a small issue. Every distraction that you allow into your mind early in the day shapes your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions in ways that often go unnoticed until hours later. The truth is, your mind is like a garden. If you allow weeds of distraction, worry, and negativity to grow unchecked, they will take over, choking out clarity, focus, and purpose. But if you plant seeds of intention, concentration, and calm, your mind will flourish and create outcomes far beyond what you thought possible. The morning is the most important time to do this because it is when your mind is naturally fresh, uncluttered, and at its most flexible. If you let it be hijacked at this time, the rest of your day will feel like a constant struggle, as though you are swimming against a current you cannot see. But when you consciously take ownership of your mental space, when you decide what thoughts are allowed in and what influences you will accept, you empower yourself. You gain a level of control over your day that most people never even dream of. Owning your mind is not about eliminating challenges or avoiding responsibilities. It is about being deliberate in where you focus your energy. Imagine waking up and choosing not to check your phone immediately. Instead, you take a few deep breaths, acknowledge your priorities, and center yourself on the goals that matter most. In that moment, you reclaim your mind from the chaos of constant external influence. You begin your day as the driver, not the passenger. Many people underestimate how much their environment and the constant stream of information influence their emotions. A single negative headline, an angry email, or a stressful notification first thing in the morning can set the tone for hours of tension, distraction, and poor decisions. By contrast, when you consciously choose what enters your mind, positive stories, uplifting messages, quiet reflection, or even a few minutes of meditation, you create a mental environment that fosters clarity, resilience, and creativity. This choice, while simple, is transformative. It teaches your mind that it is in control, that it does not have to react automatically to every stimulus, and that it has the power to shape the day rather than be shaped by it. Taking ownership of your mind also requires self-awareness and discipline. It is not enough to simply avoid distractions. You must actively engage with the thoughts that matter, nurture the mindset you want to develop, and consciously reject those that weaken your focus or dilute your energy. This means starting the day with intention, asking yourself what is most important, and committing to that path before the world imposes its demands. Consider the countless opportunities missed by people who allow their mornings to be dictated by external noise. Ideas never realized, moments of growth ignored, relationships neglected, and productivity lost, all because they surrendered their most precious resource, their attention, before it even had a chance to serve them. Owning your mind is not a passive act, it is an act of courage. It is the choice to rise above the chaos, to assert control over your thoughts, and to dedicate the first moments of your day to what truly matters. When you master this skill, you are no longer at the mercy of distractions. You create a mental fortress in which clarity, purpose, and creativity can thrive. Each morning becomes a training ground for focus, a space where you build the habits and resilience that will carry you through every challenge. The ability to own your mind is not a talent reserved for a few. It is a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned, practiced, and perfected. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes, and the greater the impact on your life. Gratitude is one of the simplest yet most profound tools you can use to transform your morning, and by extension, your entire life. Too often, we wake up and immediately focus on what is lacking, what went wrong yesterday, or what challenges lie ahead. Our minds instinctively drift to worry, frustration, and comparison, and before we even step out of bed, we are already carrying a heavy burden. But gratitude has the power to shift this weight, to change the atmosphere of your mind, and to set a completely different tone for the day. When you consciously take a moment to appreciate what you have, you are doing more than expressing thanks. You are reprogramming your brain to recognize abundance instead of scarcity. Gratitude in the morning acts like fuel, igniting your mind with energy, clarity, and positivity. It transforms your perspective from seeing obstacles to seeing opportunities, from focusing on problems to noticing potential solutions, from dwelling on limitations to recognizing possibilities. It is not about pretending life is perfect or ignoring difficulties. It is about choosing to start your day by acknowledging what is real, what is valuable, and what can be leveraged to create growth and joy. The practice of gratitude is deeply emotional because it reconnects you to the things that truly matter, the things that cannot be taken away. Whether it is the people who love and support you, the health you possess, the skills and talents that allow you to pursue your dreams, or even the simple comfort of a warm bed and a new day, these are all anchors of stability in a world that often feels chaotic. By focusing on these anchors, your mind is no longer a battlefield of scarcity and fear, but a garden of possibility. Imagine waking up tomorrow and spending the first few minutes not thinking about your to-do list, but listing 3 things you are genuinely grateful for. The effect is immediate. Your heart feels lighter, your mind feels sharper, and your body responds with energy and readiness. Gratitude creates a ripple effect that extends far beyond your inner experience. It influences how you interact with others, how you respond to challenges, and how you approach opportunities. People who start their day with gratitude are more patient, more creative, and more resilient. They are able to navigate obstacles with calm determination because their minds are anchored in what they have, not what they lack. Moreover, gratitude reshapes the way you perceive failure and difficulty. When your mind begins in a place of appreciation, setbacks are no longer devastating. They are lessons, stepping stones, and signals for growth. Gratitude allows you to see the hidden value in every situation, to recognize that even challenges are gifts that refine your character, sharpen your judgment, and strengthen your resolve. This is why the habit of starting your day with gratitude is not trivial. It is foundational. It is the mental equivalent of fueling a car before a long journey. Without this energy, you may still move forward, but you will struggle, consume more resources, and arrive with exhaustion rather than fulfillment. With it, every action is guided, intentional, and powerful. Gratitude also strengthens your emotional intelligence. By recognizing what is already positive in your life, you naturally extend patience, empathy, and understanding to others. Your relationships improve, your communication becomes more thoughtful, and your presence becomes more impactful. Each morning you practice gratitude. You are not only improving your mindset for the day, but also cultivating long-term habits that shape your personality, your relationships, and your success. Over time, this practice compounds. Days of gratitude accumulate into weeks, weeks into months, and months into years, forming a life rooted in appreciation, optimism, and strength. It is a quiet power that fuels confidence, resilience, and clarity, all beginning with the conscious choice to see and acknowledge the good that is already within your life. Waking up is not enough. Setting an alarm clock ensures that your body rises, but it does not guarantee that your mind is awake, focused, or purposeful. Many people live their mornings as if they are on autopilot, going through motions without thinking about why they are doing what they do. The difference between a day that feels wasted and a day filled with achievement begins with a simple but powerful practice: setting your intentions. When you set your intentions, you are no longer a passive participant in your own life. You become the conductor of your day, orchestrating your thoughts, actions, and energy toward what truly matters. Intention is not the same as planning. Planning is about tasks and logistics, scheduled deadlines, and checklists. Intention is about mindset, purpose, and focus. It is about asking yourself, what kind of person do I want to be today? What impact do I want to have? How do I want to feel as I move through my hours? By defining your intentions first, everything else begins to align naturally. Setting intentions is powerful because it gives direction to your thoughts. Without intention, the mind drifts, reacting to whatever stimulus comes first. Social media notifications, emails, urgent calls, or the demands of others can dominate your attention, pulling you away from what matters most. But when your intentions are clear, every decision, every action, and every response becomes measured against that purpose. You gain clarity in a world that constantly bombards you with distraction. Intentions also shape your emotional state. Consider the difference between waking up and thinking, I have so much to do today, I hope I can manage it, versus waking up and saying, today I will approach every challenge with patience and focus. Today, I will make a positive impact on at least one person around me. In the first scenario, your mind is already under stress and reactive. In the second, you are proactive, energized, and empowered. This subtle difference transforms the way your day unfolds because your emotions guide your actions far more than your to-do list ever can. The practice of setting intentions is also profoundly practical. It allows you to prioritize what is important instead of simply what is urgent. When you know the energy you want to bring and the outcomes you aim to create, you can filter distractions, say no to what does not serve you, and allocate your time to what truly matters. Your focus sharpens, your efficiency increases, and your confidence grows because every action is aligned with purpose. One of the most common mistakes people make is thinking that intention is only about big goals or monumental achievements. In reality, It is equally powerful when applied to the small, seemingly mundane moments of your day. Intention can shape how you respond to traffic, how you handle an annoying email, or how you interact with a colleague. Each moment guided by clear purpose becomes an opportunity for growth, contribution, and presence. Setting intentions in the morning is also an emotional anchor. It allows you to start the day with calm and confidence, rather than reaction and chaos. The mind, like a compass, always points toward what you feed it first. Feed it with purpose and your day will naturally follow. Neglect this step and your day drifts like a boat without a rudder, pushed by currents and storms that could have been anticipated and navigated. Finally, setting your intentions transforms mornings into more than just a passage of time. It transforms them into a declaration of who you are and who you are becoming. Each morning becomes a deliberate statement of priorities, values, and focus. It is the difference between waking up and existing versus waking up and leading your life with vision, clarity, and power. Intentions are invisible, yet their influence is enormous. They guide your actions, influence your emotions, shape your interactions, and ultimately determine the trajectory of your success and fulfillment. By cultivating the habit of setting your intentions first, you take control of your mornings, your days, and ultimately your life in ways that few realize are possible. Movement is not just about physical fitness. It is the bridge that connects your body to your mind, unlocking energy, clarity, and focus in ways that sitting still never can. Yet, far too many people underestimate the power of simply moving when they wake up. They see exercise as an optional task or a distant goal rather than an essential practice to prime the mind for a productive day. The truth is, the moment you engage your body, you send a ripple of vitality through your entire system. Your heart beats stronger, your lungs draw in deeper breaths, your muscles awaken, and your brain begins to release chemicals that sharpen cognition, elevate mood, and reduce stress. Moving your body in the morning is the fastest way to transition from the fog of sleep to the clarity of wakefulness. And it does more than prepare you physically. It sets the emotional tone for the entire day. Imagine waking up and remaining in bed, scrolling through notifications, reacting to the world while still groggy and disconnected. Your mind is sluggish, your energy is low, and your capacity to think creatively or respond patiently is diminished. Contrast that with rising and taking just 10 or 15 minutes to stretch, walk, jog, or perform light exercises. That small investment of time floods your system with oxygen, increases blood flow to the brain, and ignites endorphins that immediately elevate your mood. Suddenly you feel alert, alive, and capable. The connection between movement and mental clarity is rooted in biology. When the body moves, the brain releases neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin, which enhance motivation, focus, and resilience. Exercise also reduces cortisol, the stress hormone, helping you approach challenges with calm and confidence rather than panic or frustration. By energizing your body, you are simultaneously energizing your mind, creating a synergy that amplifies both productivity and well-being. Movement in the morning is also symbolic. It communicates to your mind that you are ready to take action, that you are willing to invest in yourself, and that you will not be passive in the face of life's challenges. It is a physical affirmation of commitment to your goals, your growth, and your potential. Small, consistent actions compound over time, and starting your day with even brief movement cultivates discipline, resilience, and a sense of ownership over your life. Furthermore, morning movement enhances emotional resilience. Life will inevitably present obstacles, frustrations, and setbacks, but when your mind and body have been activated intentionally, you are better equipped to respond with patience, creativity, and courage. The energy you generate through physical engagement carries forward, influencing how you think, how you speak, and how you act. Another crucial aspect of morning movement is its ability to inspire presence. When you stretch, breathe deeply, or engage in mindful exercise, you become attuned to your body, your energy, and your emotions. You develop a heightened awareness of your internal state, which allows you to notice negative patterns, redirect unhelpful thoughts, and cultivate positive ones. This awareness is a form of control. It is the foundation of a powerful mindset. It is also deeply empowering because it reminds you that you are not at the mercy of circumstance. You can influence your energy, your mood, and your focus with your own choices, starting with simple, intentional movement. Consider how athletes, leaders, and high performers approach their mornings. They understand instinctively that the body and mind are not separate entities, they are intertwined. Peak performance is not achieved through willpower alone. It is cultivated through a harmonious balance of physical vitality, mental clarity, and emotional regulation. Morning movement is the entry point into this balance. When you commit to moving your body at the start of the day, you are not just exercising muscles, you are energizing your thoughts, fortifying your emotions, and setting the stage for a day of achievement, creativity, and resilience. It is an investment in yourself that pays dividends far beyond the immediate moment, shaping not only your day, but the trajectory of your life. What you allow into your mind in the morning will dictate the trajectory of your entire day, yet so many people unknowingly feed themselves negativity before they even step out of bed. The moment you wake up, your brain is like a sponge, ready to absorb the first stimuli it encounters. If you immediately scroll through social media, check emails, or read news headlines filled with fear, criticism, or conflict, your mind begins to absorb stress, doubt, and distraction before you have even had a chance to think clearly or set your own course. This is why feeding your mind positivity in the morning is not optional. It is essential. It is the difference between starting your day as a victim of circumstances or as a master of your energy and focus. Positive input does not mean ignoring reality or pretending that challenges do not exist. It means deliberately choosing content that strengthens your mindset, inspires creativity, and cultivates resilience. Reading a passage from an uplifting book, listening to a motivational podcast, reflecting on affirmations, or even thinking about what you are grateful for engages your mind in a proactive, empowering way. When you consciously feed your mind with positivity, you are essentially giving it fuel to perform at its best. Without it, the brain wanders into worry, doubt, or reactivity, and your decisions, mood, and interactions are all weakened. Consider how quickly a negative headline or a critical comment can alter your energy. You wake up feeling calm and focused, and within minutes, your thoughts are consumed by fear, anxiety, or anger. Your focus is shattered, your confidence is shaken, and your entire morning has been compromised. Now imagine the opposite scenario. You wake up and spend the first few minutes absorbing content that uplifts, educates, and inspires. Your thoughts are clear, your energy is elevated, and your mind is ready to engage challenges creatively rather than reactively. Positivity works like a protective shield. It does not make problems disappear, but it equips you with the mental strength to face them with clarity and courage. Feeding your mind positive content in the morning also shapes your language, actions, and emotions throughout the day. When your thoughts are anchored in hope, learning, and possibility, your conversations with others become more constructive, your problem solving becomes more effective, and your ability to influence and inspire grows. The quality of your input directly influences the quality of your output, and starting the day with positivity compounds into exponential benefits. This habit is particularly powerful because it interrupts the automatic patterns of negativity that so many people unknowingly reinforce. From a young age, most of us have been conditioned to focus on what is missing, what went wrong, or what could be a threat. Feeding your mind positive content rewires these patterns, gradually training your brain to notice solutions, opportunities, and hope rather than dwelling on fear, limitation, or criticism. Another critical aspect is the emotional impact. Positivity lifts your mood, reduces stress, and enhances resilience. When your mind begins the day in a state of inspiration and encouragement, it naturally radiates to your body and actions. Your posture is more confident, your interactions are more empathetic, and your ability to remain calm under pressure is strengthened. Even small shifts in mental input can create dramatic improvements in focus, creativity, and emotional balance. Feeding your mind positivity is an act of intentionality. It is the conscious decision to take control of your mental environment, to protect your thoughts from unnecessary negativity, and to provide yourself with the tools needed to thrive. It is one of the simplest yet most profound ways to influence your life, because it directly determines your perspective, your energy, and your choices from the very moment your day begins. By committing to this practice, you are building a foundation for consistent mental clarity, emotional resilience, and purposeful action, setting the stage for a life shaped by growth and positivity rather than reaction and limitation. Consistency is often overlooked because it feels ordinary, repetitive, or even tedious, yet it is the hidden force that separates those who achieve lasting success from those who merely dream about it. Most people crave instant results, expecting that a single burst of effort or a one-time breakthrough will define their lives. The truth is far more subtle, far more powerful. It is the accumulation of small, disciplined actions over time that compounds into extraordinary transformation. This principle is particularly true when it comes to mornings, because the habits you cultivate at the start of each day are the building blocks of your character, your focus, and your potential. Each morning that you wake up with purpose, each day that you choose to set intentions, move your body, feed your mind positivity, and act with clarity, you are stacking bricks in the foundation of a life designed for growth, resilience, and achievement. Transformation does not happen overnight, and this is where consistency becomes your greatest ally. It is not the dramatic, rare moments of inspiration that create change. It is the quiet, steady repetition of aligned actions that reshapes your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your reality. Consider a river cutting through rock. At first, the water seems too gentle, too small to make a difference. Yet over days, months, and years, it creates a path where none existed, carving valleys and shaping landscapes that once seemed impossible. Human growth works in precisely the same way. Each morning you commit to intentionality, focus, and discipline. You are like that river, quietly carving the course of your life, shaping habits, beliefs, and outcomes that accumulate into something profound. Consistency also trains your mind to trust in the process, rather than demand immediate reward. Most people give up when results do not appear quickly, mistaking impatience for insight. Yet the reality is that every meaningful change, whether in skill, mindset, or character, requires repetition. The morning practices you cultivate may feel small or inconsequential at first, but over time they strengthen your mental resilience, sharpen your focus, and build emotional stability. This is why those who master consistency in their mornings often achieve results that seem disproportionate to their effort. The impact compounds silently, invisibly, and powerfully, manifesting not only in productivity and success, but also in confidence, courage, and clarity. Consistency is also deeply emotional. It teaches patience, self-respect, and faith in your own ability to follow through. Every time you honor your commitment to yourself, whether it is rising early, exercising, or feeding your mind with positive content, you are reinforcing your belief that you can control your destiny. This emotional reinforcement becomes self-perpetuating the more you practice consistency. The stronger your belief in your ability to shape your life becomes, and the more naturally consistent your actions become in every area of your life. Another critical aspect of consistency is that it transforms failure into learning. When actions are repeated daily, mistakes and setbacks are not devastating. They are feedback. A missed morning routine or distracted day does not define you. It is simply a temporary interruption in a long sequence of persistent effort. The daily practice of showing up again and again teaches resilience and the understanding that success is rarely linear but always cumulative. Over time, consistent morning habits create a ripple effect that extends far beyond the initial actions themselves. They influence your work, your relationships, your decision-making, and even your ability to handle stress and uncertainty. The simple act of consistently choosing to start your day with intention, focus, and energy sets a standard for how you live your life. It transforms your environment, your mindset, and your potential, showing that greatness is not born of single heroic acts, but of the steadfast repetition of disciplined choices. Consistency breeds not only skill but character. It builds the inner strength that allows you to persevere when circumstances are difficult, to maintain clarity when distractions arise, and to continue progressing toward your goals even when motivation wavers. In essence, the consistent practices you establish in your mornings serve as the backbone of personal transformation, creating a life defined not by chance but by deliberate, ongoing effort, the kind that compounds quietly into extraordinary results over time. Now, as we bring all of this together, I want you to see the bigger picture. Your mornings are not just a routine. They are a declaration of who you are and who you are becoming. Every thought you cultivate, every intention you set, every movement you make, and every positive input you allow is a building block shaping the life you will live. When you take control of your mind, start with gratitude, move your body, set clear intentions, feed your mind positivity, and commit to consistent action, you are no longer letting life happen to you. You are designing it. Understand this, transformation does not require perfection. It requires presence and persistence. Each morning is a chance to reset, a chance to reclaim your focus, a chance to choose growth over distraction and action over passivity. When you rise with purpose, you create a ripple effect that touches every area of your life, influencing your decisions, your relationships, your energy, and your confidence. The small choices you make today, repeated day after day, compound into extraordinary results tomorrow. So, I challenge you to see your mornings as sacred, not because they are long or filled with grand gestures, but because they are powerful. They are a canvas on which you can paint the story of your day, your mindset, and ultimately your life. Do not wait for motivation to find you, and do not let the world dictate your energy. Step into your mornings with clarity, with gratitude, with focus, and with discipline, and watch how everything else begins to align. Remember, the life you dream of is not built in a single moment. It is built in the choices you make every day, starting with the first thought you allow into your mind when you wake. Own it, shape it, fuel it with positivity and purpose. Commit to it consistently, and you will discover that your mornings are not just the start of your day. They are the gateway to the life you were always capable of living. Rise intentionally, rise powerfully, and rise ready, because every great day, every meaningful achievement, and every life-changing transformation begins with the mind you cultivate when you first open your eyes.